Hello and welcome to this evening's Scoop. I'm Elizabeth Adogbu. On the show tonight, we take a look at the Home Office's policy on drugs, politics and young people, and the latest innovations in contact lens technology. But first, the Home Office recently admitted that they are unsure whether or not the war on drugs is having any real effect, with over £3.6 billion per year being spent trying to tackle drug abuse in the UK. We're asking if the amount of money the Home Office is spending really is being used efficiently. Chiron Good investigates.
In December last year, the Home Office published a report evaluating the costs and benefits of their drug strategy, a strategy that's structured around reducing demand, restricting supply, building recovery in communities, and reducing illicit drug use. The purpose of the report is to give the reader some sort of idea as to whether their anti-drugs program is getting value for money. Surprisingly though, on page 18 of the report was a startling admission on behalf of the Home Office, and an admission that was overlooked until very recently. It claims, establishing the conditions for a robust counterfactual for enforcement is difficult, and as a result, little robust evidence of impact is available either nationally or internationally. It goes on to explain that their drugs education campaigns, such as the Talk to Frank campaign, does influence awareness. However, there is little known as to how that translates into actual behaviour change. A report from the Department of Health estimates that drug-related expenditure in the UK amounted to £7.4 billion in 2010-11. We spoke with cannabis activist Clark French on his views on these admissions.
Yeah, my name is Clark French. I am an MS patient and medical cannabis activist. I work for Normal UK and the UK CSC, which is the United Kingdom Cannabis Social Club. And we say the war on drugs, right? But let's be honest. There isn't a war on drugs. You can't put a drug in prison. There's a war on people who use drugs. But that isn't so catchy, you know. To have a war on an inanimate object is fine, but when you actually start putting the human cost in there, it starts to actually get a bit scary. And they don't want it to be a war against the people that use drugs. They want to phrase it as the drug itself, but actually no, it's not the drug. It's actually people's lives that we're actually destroying and ruining, right? Even though it's proven that, you know, we've had drug prohibition for a long time now, we haven't eliminated drugs. It hasn't worked. It's about time we start talking about this. You know, once you're a heroin addict, it doesn't matter to you whether it's legal or not. The main thing that matters to you is getting your heroin. So we really need to put it in the hands of medical professionals that can make it safer and reduce the harm when a person is not criminalised and is put into the medical system as a problem drug user rather than the criminal system. Actually, they have far better chance of actually quitting and not re-offending.
We spoke to a drug dealer from London on his experiences in the drug trade and the war on drugs.
Well, I've been selling drugs for about 5 years, and I got into it simply because I had lost my job and I needed the money, to be honest. Sometimes you get working class people, suits, sometimes you get the fiends and the crackheads and stuff, but yeah, it just ranges. It's like as if it's just normal society. Everyone, basically. Everyone.
What's the easiest drug for you to sell?
Any drug. Any drug, yeah, literally. My favourite to sell would be the cocaine.
To make a lot of money?
Simply because it makes a lot of money, yeah. I didn't know there's a war on drugs, to be honest, because I haven't really been involved with the police or anything like that in my 5 years of doing it. So, yeah, I guess it would be wasted. There's still weed smokers or whatever, do you know what I mean? I don't think it'll make any difference, really.
Many believe that it is time to take a different look on how we treat drugs in the UK, while others believe we need an even more unforgiving drug enforcement programme. What is certain, though, is that we're spending a lot of money and we're not seeing much in return.
In 2010, the number of people registered to vote who were aged between 18 and 24 was only 58%. Politicians have been trying to find a way to engage with young people without any success. Brett McMurray looks into why young people seem to lack an interest in politics.
The United Kingdom prides itself on having one of the most admired democracies in the world. The next general election is just a year away, and it appears that many young people seem more disillusioned with the current system. There's a perception that the younger generation of voters are disconnected from the electoral and democratic process. So what can be done to address this? Chloe Smith, a Tory MP, thinks that people just don't care about politics anymore. Ed Miliband believes that younger people have a vested interest in playing a more active role. We took to the streets to find out young people's thoughts.
I don't vote because I'm not 18. When I turn 18, I don't think I'll vote because I don't agree with every single policy that every political party puts forward. No, she don't understand it. She don't understand.
What do you do when you vote? Who do you vote for?
I don't know.
If I was to vote, I'd probably vote for the Liberal Democrats.
Okay, why is that?
Because they're a bit more, Liberal Democrats. They're not the old parties. They're modern ideas.
Yeah.
They're not like conservatives, which they care of the conservative people.
Yeah.
They're not Labour, which just selling slogans. We're gonna do things we can do.
Yeah.
We're gonna change the banking system. It's not something that you can really believe in. So they're always the off parties. It's better to vote for them so they're really like a different voice.
To be completely honest, I don't believe in all the things that the government and that do.
Yeah.
Half the things they say, they don't actually follow through with.
Okay.
So for me, it's not something I believe in.
Well, I'm a student and I don't feel engaged into politics. It's not. Well, it's obviously it's on TV and media, but it's not really, engaging in any way.
No, I do actually believe that more parties could use social media as a way of reaching the younger masses.
I think they should stop chatting rubbish and just say how it is. Just say, right, England isn't looking great. This is what we need to do. We're going to do it this way, instead of saying, right, I want to introduce this, and it never happens, like as it has been forever, really.
After contacting the local Conservative office, they declined to answer any questions. In the graph, we can see that the number of young voters steadily declining since the early 90s and continues to drop drastically after Labour came to power in 1997. In the last general election, this number has increased by a huge 13%, which shows more young people are starting to get involved. This increase is predicted to continue, and with information more readily available than ever before, the 18 to 24-year-olds are now beginning to tune in and make their voices heard.
Recently, studies carried out by the group Action on Sugar have shown that most people living in the UK have no idea about the true amount of sugar that is in their diets. Mark Walsh reports on some of the foods that you wouldn't realise contain the amount of sugar that they really do.
The World Health Organization says eating too much sugar is linked to heart disease as well as diabetes and obesity. It currently recommends that adults should eat the equivalent of no more than 10 teaspoons of sugar a day, although this figure is set to be halved soon. Many Britons have no idea how much sugar is in their diet, with some people consuming up to 46 teaspoons of the white stuff every day. For example, a glass of cranberry juice contains 9 teaspoons of sugar, the same amount as in a bottle of Coca-Cola.
Which one of these do you think has more sugar in?
Definitely this.
Why is that?
Because it's chocolate and it's just standard that it has more sugar in.
Yeah, but now you're asking me, I'm kind of thinking that maybe it's
second
this
guessing
one.
that it's this.
But I would obviously initially say that one because it's chocolate.
It is actually the tomato soup.
Oh.
I thought that might be the case.
Which one of these do you think has more sugar in?
I would probably say vitamin water.
Probably the vitamin water as well. It's probably got more fake stuff in. This has probably got more real fruit, although fruit does have a lot of, fruit juice always has a lot of sugar in.
It's actually the innocent smoothie.
Oh, was it? Really?
Which one of these two do you think has more sugar in them?
Well, you would have thought of that, but it's probably the tomato soup.
Why do you think the tomato soup?
I don't know. It's always something you don't think, that something's hidden inside these things. Until you read the label, you don't really realise what.
Do you read food labels often?
Not very often, no.
The group Action on Sugar is calling for the amount of sugar added to food to be cut by up to 30% over the next 5 years. The group's science director, Dr. Asim Mohata, who is a cardiologist, said, "Added sugar has no nutritional value whatsoever. Aside from being a major cause of obesity, there is an increase in evidence that added sugar increases the risk of developing type 2 diabetes, metabolic syndrome, and fatty liver. It is hoped with the public being given more information on the amount of sugar they consume, they will be more inclined to choose foods with a lower content, which could lead to a reverse in the obesity epidemic." This is Mark Walsh for The Scoop.
One of the main causes of type 2 diabetes is an excess of sugar, and with the problem on the rise in the UK, the number of people living with the disease has doubled in the last decade. The internet company Google recently announced a contact lens that allows for a unique way of users to be able to track the amount of sugar inside the body. John Lambert reports.
Such as the Jawbone Up and Nike Fuel Band are relatively long-time players in the consumer health monitoring market. This week, however, the search supergiant Google has turned its hand to producing its own groundbreaking and for some life-changing technology.
Prick your finger at the sides, as it's less painful than at the tip.
Google have decided to tackle diabetes, a condition that by 2035 is predicted to affect 1 in 10 people. They've developed a revolutionary contact lens that measures sugar levels passively. Instead of the traditional blood checking devices requiring you to physically draw blood, they read tears. With these incredible sensors, combined with advancements in nanotechnology, the user can simply wear the contact lens during the day to receive a constant stream of glucose data.
This prototype looks and feels like a regular soft contact lens, but inside of it we have a tiny chip and a miniaturized glucose sensor that allows us to continually monitor tier glucose levels. We've had to work really hard to develop tiny low-power electronics that operate on very low levels of energy and really small glucose sensors. I'm really excited about this technology because this could possibly give another tool for people with diabetes to learn more about their blood glucose.
The lens also features a tiny antenna, capacitor and controller, so the information gathered from the lens can move from your eye to a device such as a handheld monitor. For the data conscious amongst us, don't worry. Google have made the decision from the start not to store any information whatsoever about the user's biometrics.
We're still really early on. We're confident about how the technology is going so far, but there's a huge amount of work left to do. And so we're actively looking for partners to help us out with the next phases of the project.
Each year, over 27,000 students study at Greenwich University, many with disadvantaged backgrounds. This is partly thanks to the Student Opportunity Fund. This £327 million programme is paid to universities to help those from poorer families gain access to higher education. This fund is due to be cut to £200 million by the Cabinet. We spoke to the president of Greenwich University Student Union to see how this will affect their students.
Could you tell us about this Student Opportunities Fund that is being cut?
So the Student Opportunities Fund is very different to Access funding in the sense that what it does is it's a mechanism for the university reaching out into those that wouldn't normally access higher education and bringing them in. So they benefit the most, usually the poorest students or those that are most unlikely to head into higher education. And it's one of these funds that really reaches out and allows universities to do that.
Does Greenwich University in particular get much from this fund?
So as far as I've been able to see, Greenwich gets just north of £5 million every year into their Student Opportunity Fund. So being cut by 60%, which is what the government are proposing, would leave us pretty low on money, and obviously it would completely cut our widening participation kind of output.
What other universities do you know of that are being affected by this cut?
I would imagine universities that are very similar to Greenwich. So London Metropolitan University, absolutely, definitely. And then other universities that, don't rank necessarily so highly, but do have those kind of very wide input of lower class students, those from poorer backgrounds, which absolutely deserve to be in higher education, but can't access it so easily. There's absolutely no doubt that what this is going to do is reduce how accessible the university is for those less fortunate students, making universities more elite year by year. It's an absolute disaster, really.
Is there any planned action to be taken by Greenwich University or by NUS?
So the NUS are running a fairly loud student opportunities kind of campaign. Greenwich hasn't yet fed into that, but having looked at the figures and seen how this could affect our widening participation program, I'm really keen to jump on board and start shouting about this as well.
you know, the university is probably quite worried about it too. So we might partner up and do something about that. If you're going to reduce a deficit, probably cutting people's access into education is not a good way of going about it, particularly those students that, you know, are they going to be able to find work in a difficult employment landscape without these particularly good qualifications? I think, you know, very much a chicken and egg problem you're setting off here if you're cutting these kind of funds.
Here's a look now at what we've got coming up after the break. We take a look back at Wednesday's National Television Awards and see all the winners and the losers, as well as taking a look at what went wrong. Is the Super Bowl set to take over British culture for yet another year? We look at some of the ways that we celebrate the biggest game straight out of America. We've got all that and more coming up after the break.
How can a car's design make driving feel like this? Start by making it lighter. Reduce the size of the wheel. Raise the instruments to help keep your eyes on the road. And declutter. To make the surface of the road feel as close as possible to the hair on your skin. Voila. New Peugeot 308, driving sensations.
Muller Greek Style Corner, now with even thicker, creamier yoghurt and delicious real fruit compote. Muller Greek Style Corner. Happiness is just around the corner.
I've had my ups and downs, my fair share of bumpy roads and heavy winds. That's what made me what I am today. Now I stand here before you. What you see is a body crafted to perfection. A pair of legs engineered to defy the laws of physics. And a mindset to master the most epic of splits.
Who can say where the road goes, where the day flows? Only time. And who can say if your love grows as your heart shows? Only time.
Happy, spinning, clapping, laughing, dancing in the blackness of magic. Get it, have it, bag it, throw yourself on the air.
More places, more choices, more often. This is Generation EasyJet.
What's that smell?
It's that perfume I got you for your birthday.
Dusky lady.
You don't wear it.
Like getting your money's worth? Try the £1.9 sweet chilli mayo chicken or the $1.49 chicken BLC. New to the Saver menu.
Welcome back to The Scoop. First off, on Wednesday, the National Television Awards were held at the O2 Arena in North Greenwich. Heather Myers takes a look at the winners and losers of the night.
Here we
we are outside London's O2 Arena, which last night held host to the 19th NTA Awards. The stars were out in full swing to support one another, and the big winners of the night were Coronation Street.
Coronation Street!
And therefore, it was only right Julie Hesmondhall won the Serial Drama Performance Award.
There ain't no right without Haley. There ain't no way without Haley.
I just feel really proud of it. It's like, to get a job like Corrie is amazing enough, but to have a job that has all this attached to us is something else.
And for the 4th year running, the Daytime Award went to This Morning.
4 in a row is unbelievable. Thank you so much. I wasn't sure about this one this year, if I'm honest.
You said that
we're never sure about any of them, if I'm
No.
honest. But this is really very special. You think, are we never going to do 4? That's incredible.
And the coveted Talent Show Award went to Strictly Come Dancing.
Thank you so much for
However, the show really belonged to the nation's favourite Ant and Dec. They picked up the Entertainment Presenter Award for the 13th year running, proving to be lucky 13 for them.
13th year.
There is that little bit of superstition.
Now it can be your lucky number.
Yes, I'll take that.
They were also presented with the Landmark Award, celebrating their 25 years in television.
Where do you start? I think you start with
The show included 2 performances from X Factor winner Sam Bailey with her musical hero Michael Bolton. And later, the audience were treated to a glimpse of the musical I Can't Sing, featuring a very camp version of Simon Cowell, portrayed by Nigel Harman. So there we have it, the NTA's 2014. Congratulations to all the winners, and to losers, don't worry about it. There's always next year, and we'll be back to do it all over again.
Now, to have a look at what else is going on in the entertainment world. Justin Bieber has been arrested for drink driving and drag racing in Miami Beach. The 19-year-old singer was driving a rented Lamborghini when he was stopped by police. Police have confirmed that Bieber had been drinking beer, smoking marijuana, and was under the influence of antidepressants. The arrest comes after Bieber had his Calabasas home searched by police after a supposed egg-throwing incident. Zara Phillips and Mike Tyndall have announced the name of their newborn baby girl. The proud parents recently welcomed the new addition to their family, Mia Grace Tyndall, who is 16th in line to the throne. British boy band The Wanted have announced their split. The boys will go their separate ways after their word-of-mouth tour in May. After 4 years together and the success of their single All Time Low, the boys went on to reach number 3 in the US charts. Since news of their split, ticket sales for their final tour have soared by over 200%. Hilary Duff is not letting heartbreak get in the way of partying. The 26-year-old shocked the world 2 weeks ago when she revealed after 3 years of marriage she had split with husband Mike Comrie. But now it seems she is ready to declare that she's single and more than ready to mingle. Hilary put the relationship breakdown behind her as she made her first red carpet appearance on Thursday in West Hollywood, California. The Super Bowl is one of the largest sporting events in the calendar. The excitement of the occasion always spreads across to the UK. Leon Langdale reports on what is fast becoming one of the most popular sports to emerge from the United States.
Founded in 1920, the NFL is an American professional football league, one of the 4 major professional sports leagues in the United States. It is composed of 32 teams divided equally between the National Football Conference and the American Football Conference. It runs a 17-week regular season from the first week of September to the last week after Christmas, with each team playing 16 games. Out of the league's 32 teams, 6 from each conference compete in the NFL playoffs, a single elimination tournament culminating in the Super Bowl. This is played between the champions of the NFC and AFC. This NFL season will come to a thrilling climax next week in New York City. In 1995, the NFL started a developmental offshore league called NFL Europe. However, organisational instability got the better of it just over a decade later. While the league failed, it did leave an impression on Europeans and has become more and more popular in the UK ever since. So much so, in fact, that 2 regular season games are now played in London. Now, there are many logistical advantages to playing here, but most importantly, we speak English. NFLUK.com offers a uniquely British take on the NFL. Based in London, the office is responsible for managing NFL's business in the UK and overseeing the continued development of professional American football. This includes building the NFL's fan base, creating local broadcast and sponsorship deals, and developing important relationships within the sporting, government, and commercial communities. The NFL is sweeping interest across the UK, with fans from all over the country gathering here at London's O2 Arena for Super Bash, NFL UK's official Super Bowl party, with cheerleaders, music, free drinks, and of course, London's largest screen. However, entry is by invitation only. In 2012, Sky Sports were awarded a 3-year deal to cover regular season games and playoffs. So it's clear we've seen that the sport is incredibly popular across the UK. Last year, 4.3 million people tuned in to watch it, a figure that's sure to rise this year, and you can watch that next weekend on Channel 4. Leon Langdale for The Scoop.
We're now joined by Kevin McCormack, who's a huge NFL Super Bowl fan. Kevin, thanks for joining us. Can you tell us some Super Bowl traditions you have over in the US?
Sorry, I'm not hearing anything. I'm getting the feedback.
Sorry about that, we've lost that interview. Now it's time to take a look at the weather with Mark Willington.
The Scoop Weather, sponsored by United Utilities Wastewater.
To flush or not to flush? That is the question.
Well, thanks, Elizabeth. And I'm out here in East End of London today, and as you can see, quite cold and quite chilly out here in North Greenwich. Not a lot of people out on the Thames, apart from a few seagulls. Not really a day to be going out and about on the water, and if you are out and about, make sure you wrap up warm. Plenty of cloud cover across the UK, not much in the way of sunshine, highs of only 6 degrees. Much colder though in the Highlands of Scotland, looking at about 3 degrees Celsius. Tonight, ground frost is likely the more further north you are. Down south, you should get away with it. And tomorrow, looking quite fine. Dry, sunny, and highs of only 8 degrees.
Helping life flow smoothly, whatever the weather.
Thanks, Mark. And finally, New Year's resolutions are broken within the first few weeks of January. We sent a reporter out and about to see who actually stuck to theirs.
2 weeks ago today hailed the most likely day for the nation to give up their 2014 New Year resolutions. We hit the streets to find out if and why people made resolutions, and for those who made it past the 10th of January, are they planning to stick to them?
So for my New Year's resolution, I gave up smoking. It's kind of gone okay. It's caused me to put on a bit of weight, which has made me a bit more stressed, and I've had a bit more anxiety, which has led me to kind of eat more, which has compounded the problem.
New Year's, did I make any resolutions? I don't know. I don't think I caught onto it like everyone else did.
Did I make any resolutions, New Year's resolutions this year? No, I didn't, because I don't believe in them, because I always seem to break them. But I've set myself some goals, and one of which is to stay more fit, go to the gym more often, go to the gym more, lose a bit of weight, all that. But my main one, my focus was to quit smoking. And so far so good. I've only had, I think, 3 cigarettes since New Year's. That's been about 3 weeks, that's all right.
Unfortunately, I didn't make as many New Year's resolutions this year as I would have done last year. I think the only New Year's resolution I really made was to stand firm and believe in yourself and those around you. I hope it's something I can stick to all year round, so whether or not it happens remains to be seen. You know, all New Year's resolutions get broken, so...
We have time for tonight, but join us tomorrow evening at 6 for another edition of The Scoop. Goodbye.
Okay. Well, not a problem. If you want to hook it up again, just let me know, and maybe we can work it out another time. Not a problem. Take care. Bye.